Hi everyone. What if I told you this cockroach might be the future of warfare? Not a stealth jet, not a drone swarm, not even a robot, a real living insect turned into a cyborg. And yes, scientists are already doing it. It might sound like science fiction, but it's very real. A company called Swarm Biotactics is developing technology that turns living cockroaches into remote controlled cyborg scouts. And it might completely change how we think about robots. For decades, engineers have tried to create micro-robots, tiny machines designed to crawl through rubble, tunnels, or tight spaces. But the smaller a robot gets, the harder it becomes to make it work. Batteries are heavy, motors are loud, and even the smallest obstacle, a pebble, a crack, or a blade of grass, can stop them completely. Most micro robots can only operate for a few minutes before running out of power. So, researchers started asking a strange question: why spend millions building a tiny robot? Instead, borrow one from nature. The answer turned out to be the Madagascar hissing cockroach. It's large for an insect, incredibly tough, and extremely good at navigating complex environments, which makes it the perfect biological chassis. Here's how the transformation works. First, engineers attach a small electronic backpack to the cockroach's shell. This unit contains sensors, a wireless transmitter, and a tiny computer. Next, microelectrodes are connected to the insect's antenna nerves. Now comes the clever part. When a small electrical pulse is sent to the left antenna, the cockroach thinks it has bumped into something on that side, so it turns right. Send a pulse to the right antenna and it turns left. So you're not controlling the cockroach like a joystick, you're simply nudging its instincts. The insect handles the walking, the electronics handle the steering. Using an insect instead of a robot might sound strange, but it offers incredible advantages. First, energy efficiency. The cockroach powers its own movement using biological energy, meaning the electronics only need to run sensors and communication systems. That dramatically extends the operating time. Second, stealth. These insects are almost invisible on radar, and they produce a very small heat signature compared to electronic drones. In other words, they're incredibly difficult to detect. And third, durability. Cockroaches can squeeze through tiny cracks, climb uneven surfaces, and survive conditions that would destroy most small robots. For engineers trying to design search and rescue machines, that's a huge advantage. Nature has already solved problems that robotics still struggles with. The potential uses are both fascinating and a little unsettling. In disaster zones, swarms of these cyborg insects could crawl through collapsed buildings to search for survivors. They could carry sensors that detect toxic gases or structural weaknesses. They could even map areas that are too dangerous for humans to enter. But there's also a darker possibility. Because these insects are small, quiet, and hard to detect, they could be used for covert surveillance in places no drone could reach, which raises an uncomfortable question. When technology begins merging with living creatures, where exactly do we draw the line? So, what do you think? Is this an incredible breakthrough that could save lives in disasters? Or have we officially crossed into the era of cyborg insects? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoy exploring strange technologies that feel like they're straight out of the future, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching.